What is this? The Great All-Nighter. I wonder what that could be. Greetings. You are invited to play in our new game, The Great All-Nighter. To figure out the clue to your next movie review, you must first find out what day comes between Thursday and Saturday and figure out what madness awaits you at the start of the new day. I guess we're reviewing Midnight Madness. Hey folks, big time, Jimmy Larson here for another edition of At the Movies, and it is my birthday week, so I decided I am going to review my favorite movie of all time. Today, I will be looking at the 1980 classic, Midnight Madness. Now, Midnight Madness is famous for a lot of reasons, which we will get into during this review. But also, like I said, it is my favorite movie of all time. Midnight Madness is a movie that is great for families, great for kids. It is from Disney Pictures, but they put it out through their Buena Vista line when it came out. It's since been re-released through Disney, and it's been in and out of print forever. I love this movie so much as a kid. I watched the VHS tape so many times that the VHS tape actually broke, and it took me forever. It took us years and years to find another copy of this movie, and I was so happy when it finally got a DVD release, and I picked it up right away. So the movie opens up with these two girls we learned are Candy and Sunshine riding around on their roller skates as they go around this college campus handing out these colored envelopes to members of each group. When I say each group, I mean like there's a gang of jocks, there's a gang of nerds, there's the gang of the girls trying to get into the sorority frat house. There's just all these different cliques, and then of course there's like the smart ones and who are not exactly the nerds, but not exactly the jocks or the popular kids. So there's just all these different factions, and they're handing out envelopes to each one of them. And then they come to this meeting at this dormitory to find out what these envelopes are about. And that's when we meet Leon.
And now it is time to meet the person who has made all of this possible.
Leon! Please, hold your applause.
So now you're probably asking yourself, hey, big time, who the heck is Leon? Exactly. Leon is Leon. Leon is we don't really know. He's one of the students at the campus, but we don't really know what his background is or why he has these two girls working for him all the time, Candy and Sunshine. Are they his girlfriends? Is he that lucky? Who knows? We never really know. But Leon has come up with this concept. I would love to see a prequel to this movie, but I doubt we'll ever get it. But Leon has come up with this concept for this brand new game that he wants to run on Friday night called the Great All-Nighter, which I mentioned earlier in the intro. The Great All-Nighter is a great idea of his where he is set up with the whole entire town. He has set up these clues all over town, and it's basically a scavenger hunt, kind of, with a treasure map, kind of. You start with these clues. The clues lead you from one clue to the next, and the next, and the next, and you keep going, and so forth, until you eventually find the finish line where you and your team will win. The people who were handed the envelopes, they are going to be the heads of the teams, and we're going to have all these teams going and scrambling, and at first everybody's against it. Nobody wants to be a part of this, but they all have their own problems with each other throughout the movie. Like the jocks, they hate the girls running for the sororities, and they also hate the nerds, so there's all these problems within them. and that plays a huge factor in why they all eventually agree to take part in the game. So who are the teams, you may ask? That's a good question. We start with the blue team, led by Harold, played by the great Stephen Furst, who you can see here.
Why do you drink so much?
Well, I don't actually drink that much. It just appears that way. I don't swallow.
Wow, that's some magic, kid. Then we have the green team, which is the jocks, and one of them kind of sometimes comes off as the leader, but overall the jocks pretty much work as a team. They work as a unit. And who are they? Who are they? Who are they?
M-E-A-T-M-A-C-H-I-N-E. Mean Machine! Mean Machine! All right, right!
That's right, they're the Mean Machine. And then we come to the red team, led by Donna, played by the great Maggie Roswell, seen here. And Maggie Roswell is best known as a voice actress for a lot of really famous cartoons. And then there's the white team, which is all the nerds, and there's some famous faces in that group as well. And they really don't get along with the red team at all, as you can see here.
Your stupid squad has your stupid mopeds. We may have the clue, but our truck is ruined.
Oh, won't somebody please think of the children?
And then, of course, there's the yellow team, which is the team that this movie wants you to root for. They are led by Adam, and Adam, basically, he is the main character of this whole movie. The whole movie focuses on Adam. They want you to root for Adam and his team, and eventually his team, which starts off with 3 people, ends up becoming 4, and then eventually 5 when his younger brother Scott joins the group. And Scott is Adam's younger brother. As I said, he's played by Michael J. Fox in his very first film role, as you can see here. So right there, this is a Disney movie, and Michael J. Fox is in it. So as you can see, Fox did get along with Disney long before the Marvel issues. So the teams now are arrived at where they're going, and they received their first clue, seen here. But they all interpret this clue differently. The C is reversed. SSI Atari is mixed up and blind. They all pretty much figure out that that means that SSI Atari is mixed up and blind. Means it's blind, meaning there's no eyes. So take out I and I in Atari, and then leaves you with some extra letters, and you unscramble it and you get the word stars. So they figure out that the clue reads "see the stars." But every single one of them has a different thing. One of them thinks that it's the stars on Hollywood Boulevard. One of them thinks that it's the map to the stars' homes. One of them thinks that it's at this disco place called the Stargate Disco, the Wax Museum. They all have different ideas, and none of them are right. But the one with the advantage of the whole deal is the blue team, because Harold's father is rich, and he bought him this van, seen here. And the van, now this is total 80s here, when they did not know what computer technology really was about, because most people didn't own them. And this van has its own computer, which is able to solve every single clue. Just type the clue in and it automatically gives you the answer, which would never happen. But you can see that here, that's exactly what happens here in the movie, and Harold now has this advantage with this computer. However, he ruins that as his girlfriend is trying to make him go on a diet, so he stashes some snacks in the van, and when she almost catches him, he hides the marshmallows that he had into the computer, and you can see what happened. So, no more computer. So, that's how that works. So, the clue leads them in reality to the observatory to come and see the stars, and it's got some numbers which are coordinates. So, they try to use a telescope to put in the longitude, all the coordinates there, the telescope readings, but there's this kid there that's blocking them, seen here, and he's studying Venus for his term paper, seen here. Yeah, to be fair, her name may have been Venus, and she did help to distract the green team a little later on, seen here, from getting to the next clue, which we'll discuss where that clue brings them. But like I said, Harold was not able to figure that out due to the marshmallow. So now we learn that Leon has created a command center known as Game Control with Candy and Sunshine, where they are monitoring the progress of all the teams, where they arrived. And we meet Leon's landlady, who is just this really mean-spirited lady who wants to get rid of Leon, and she keeps waving his eviction papers in front of his face, saying she's going to evict him due to all the noise that he's making and all the complaints from the neighbors. But as the neighbors run into the house, they all absolutely find out about this idea of what Leon's doing. They find out about the Great All-Nighter, and they love it, especially this lady.
A strategy board. Wally, Edna's just like I was telling you. During the war, when I worked for the government, I worked on the strategy board.
And eventually, they end up at Johnny's Fat Boy Burgers is their next clue. And you can see this.
Come on, you guys. What are you waiting for?
And Johnny's Fat Boy Burgers, of course, is a take on the Big Boy Burgers in real life seen here. It's a real restaurant, and they have a take on it here in this. And all the teams go inside, and they find out that the clue is to look between the two giant melons. And they all start ordering watermelon and different types of melons, cantaloupe and stuff like that, trying to figure out exactly what this is. There's even some honeydew there. And I mean, what else could that mean, to look between the two giant melons? Okay, so then the mission becomes to find out what exactly that means and how it involves that waitress. And they find out that she's wearing a necklace around her neck. And as you can see here, the necklace says, "Hug me." And they figure out that it's once again a scrambled word, which unscrambles to form the word huge M. And they determine that that means that the next clue must be at the miniature golf world, because there happens to be a giant, huge letter M on top of the miniature golf world. So as we arrive at the miniature golf world, the blue team, they arrive, and Harold, of course being Harold, they attempt to cheat, as you can see here.
Dear team, I told you not to cheat. Now if you want to find the clue, you have to go back and start all over. Love, Leon. P.S. You lost your ball.
And they all eventually figure out the clue at the miniature golf world leads them to LAX, the LA International Airport, where they receive a box. Each of them receives a box with the same clues inside to try and figure out. And the blue team just isn't quite getting it, as you can see here.
Cherry Point.
How'd you get that?
Well, it's one of a chair. That's chair. One of an E. That's E. One of a pin. That's point. Chair, E, point. Cherry Point.
What about the ball? You idiot!
The clues actually, if you're wondering, they lead to Pinball City, which is an arcade, and they go there, and the man in charge of the arcade, you ask? That's right, as you can see here, Pee Wee Herman. So Pee Wee Herman, a lot of crazy stuff happens here with some brawling back and forth with throwing stuff at each other, the teams, and they basically wreck this whole establishment, and lots of craziness happens. But they find out here that the location of the finish line is somewhere at the Bonaventure Hotel in Los Angeles. So they all head to go to the hotel to try and figure out where the finish line is at the hotel. And then we go back to game control, where the landlady, she's just having none of this. She doesn't even care that all the tenants are loving Leon and loving the game. She wants him out of there. So she shows up with some cops, and the cops themselves even start to really get excited about this game, and they decide they have to check this out for themselves. So she starts tearing apart the house, and they arrest her for destruction, and they throw her in the car, and they arrive at the hotel with her in tow because they want to see what's going on. And so everybody now, the teams and Leon, they all have made their way to the hotel, and the race is on to the hotel, as you can see here. So yeah, they're all heading there. They're all heading to the hotel. So arriving at the hotel, all the teams are scrambling around trying to figure out where to go for the finish line, and the yellow team learns at first that the finish line is going to be in room 2704, and the blue team is right there behind them figuring it out, and the yellow team gets in the elevator heading up to the 2704, but the old lady, the stupid landlady, she uses her nose because she's handcuffed to use the phone to dial security and tell them there's a bunch of hooligans that are destroying the hotel up in 2704. So the cops are in one elevator and the yellow team's in the other, and they're all heading up to 2704 when Harold gets this bright idea and he cuts the power to the elevators, trapping the officers on the 27th floor and trapping the yellow team right before the 27th floor. And then Harold and the others, they take all 27 flights up the steps. Even big Harold does it, and he is so tired out. But the yellow team, they use Scott's retainer to manually override the elevator, and they go up, and they then end up arriving at the exact same time as the blue team right before they can all run into that 2704 to the finish line. They're right there on the 27th floor, and Harold pulls out a garden hose, and he's going to spray them down to stop them because he's going to win at any cost. He's sick of Adam always being the goody two-shows. He wants to show his dad he can do something right. And then the yellow team uses the retainer to open up the elevator of the cops, and Harold sprays down the cops, and Harold and the blue team are arrested as the yellow team goes through the door to 2704 and wins the race of the Great All-Nighter. And then all through the movie, there has been tension between Adam and his younger brother Scott, Michael J. Fox, because Scott feels neglected, especially after we learned that it's actually Scott's birthday, and Adam has even forgotten this. So downstairs at the big celebration of the winning of the race, they get a cake for Scott, as you can see here, to celebrate his birthday. And Harold breaks free of the cops and comes in and pigs out, as you can see here. And his girlfriend, like I said, she's trying to get him to go on a diet. So she tries to stop him from eating. And as you can see here in this hilarious gif, Harold just grabs a pie and just smashes it right into his girlfriend's face, knocking her into the water as the film ends. So there you have it. There is my take on my favorite movie of all time, Midnight Madness. That is my review of it. If you know this movie, I know you're thinking to yourself, how could he go without mentioning this or mentioning this? Because, yeah, there are a couple of iconic spots that I left out, some of which because they're not exactly politically correct today, some of them just because I want you to actually go and see this movie and enjoy it. And I try to do that each week when I leave out certain spots. It's because I don't want to give away the whole movie to you. I want you to be able to watch it and see. I didn't give you all the clues that were given in this either, so you could go in and find stuff and be like, hey, you didn't mention this. This is good. You know, that's why I do that. So that's what I'll continue to do each week, is give you the gist of the movie so you can get a feel for it. But I really think that you should, in order to see them for their full potential, you need to check them out for yourself. So, and I think that you will be satisfied with the reviews that I review here. So, as I said, the reason I did this is because it's my favorite movie, and because this happens to be the week of my birthday. Today is not my birthday, but it's coming up very soon, and that's why I did this. And plus, even that ending scene with Scott that you saw with the birthday, that right there tells you, you know, this is a perfect birthday movie. So next week we are going to be doing things a little bit different, as we are heading into October, which means we are going to be doing Spooky Month. And with that, we're going to be doing some Halloween-themed movies for you to enjoy, and that'll be our theme for the month of October. So for now, I'm Big Time Jimmy Larson. This is At the Movies. I hope you've enjoyed this review. Like I said, I hope that you enjoy all of my reviews, and you can go back on my channel and see them all in the archives. And I will see you next week. Thanks for watching.